Hey everyone, welcome back to Your Gear Sucks. I appreciate you tuning into the channel. Thank you to everyone who's been watching so far. It's been fantastic support. And remember to subscribe to the channel because once we get over 500, we'll be able to bring you more of these. And today in the studio, I have my good friend Dave Daniel from Manchester, UK, in the balmy tropical paradise of Canada right now. And Dave is a real-world musician. He's a singer-songwriter performer whose latest album, Lessons Learnt, is available on Spotify. Dave, welcome.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Well, I only brought you in because of your gear here. And of course, this channel is called Your Gear Sucks, where we teach you how to make the best of the gear that you have already and how to do better with it, right? Not necessarily that your gear sucks, because we have pretty awesome gear on the channel. And today we have the Lav Mic 3. Right?
That's right.
So you guys have been seeing these things all over the internet, and it's basically a carbon fiber acoustic guitar, effects unit, modeling, all built into one. It's a fantastic piece of gear. And this one belongs to Dave. And because he is a real-world musician, real performer, singer-songwriter, I figure we get his take on it rather than getting my nerdy takes on all the gear and stuff. And this thing's beautiful. Let me switch to the overhead camera so you guys can get a better sense of what this thing looks like. Let me go switch camera flat. There we go. Look how beautiful this thing is, especially in all the nice lights and stuff. Yeah, so we got a carbon fiber frame and body here. It's I think it's a uni piece. It's all one from the neck into the body.
That's right.
So you can even see, like, if we do that, like, you can almost hear the resonating off of it already. And I'm going to actually switch to our remote camera to see what it looks like inside. You can kind of see the bracing that's in there, all the carbon fiber bracing that's going on, which has some amazing benefits to it. Specifically, Dave, the benefits to the carbon fiber. Why'd you pick that over a traditional wood spruce top or that kind of setup?
Yeah, so I've had a number of guitars over the years, and especially since moving to Canada 2 years ago, all my guitars just seem to get weathered. They get affected by humidity. They get affected by the seasons, if it's cold or if it's warm, just like me, also getting affected. So it's something that I just kept constantly taking into the shop. The last time I took my other guitar into the shop, it was in there for about 6 weeks. So I had 6 weeks of just non-playing. So it's something that really, when I looked at the spec, and you could see how hot it can get in terms of weather resistance, or how cold it can get in terms of weather resistance, it just really stood out as a really kind of cool, unique kind of feature that it has, that I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can take it anywhere. I can take it anywhere in the world, and I don't have to worry about the weather.
And of course, everyone watching who has an acoustic guitar knows how much maintenance it takes to keep them in check. Humidity levels, the weather, especially humidity levels, it's pretty much that. Temperature can affect the wood expanding and contracting. You get fret sprout, you get action. The action on the string starts to change. You can get the bridge lifting off. All kinds of weird things happen to the acoustic guitars, especially because the wood is so thin, right? I mean, it's meant to project the sound. But that issue is not a thing with carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is very stable. And a lot of people find the carbon fiber intimidating just because it looks so space age. But really, it has the same kind of resonance as your typical acoustic guitar, does it not?
It does. It sounds great. I mean, I've played a lot of different acoustic guitars from mine, which is a Marinara, which is no longer in existence. They stopped making them, and then all the way up to a Taylor or a Martin. And honestly, the sound you get from these is amazing. Like,
right.
you'll find it just as rewarding, I think, as one of those top mates.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at these a long time ago. So when he got one, I was just like, you got to bring this into the studio. We have to take a look at it. So why don't you pull it out and we'll get the case, which is actually a really nice looking case too. It's got this kind of like velour inside. This thing, keep all your secrets in.
Don't look in there.
All the dead bodies, all inside there. Yeah, it's kind of like this really neat, lightweight neoprene case that it comes in. And you also have accessories there, which we'll take a look at later. Got the straps on the back, easy carrying around. And yeah, with these space age looking guitars, they come with a lot of space age functionality. But again, that functionality nobody should be intimidated by because from what I understand, from what you've told me, it's pretty easy to operate. Why don't you take us through that in terms of having it unplugged, what it might sound like, how to get extra features in there. Let's start off with turning the screen on and see how it goes. So maybe bring it over here and we'll have it on the overhead camera here. Let me switch to overhead cam. Let's go to cam 5. All right, so we have here an LCD screen that allows you to turn it on. You turn it on via a button on the inside here, correct?
That's correct, yeah. So there's a button right under here, which is exactly where the sound control and where the speaker is, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
All right, so once you get into this screen here, you got a tuner there, I see. What is that, BPM for the effects?
So this is your BPM, so this is for your metronome. So you can actually start to set this as if you wanted just to practice and you can follow along. There's so many other features that you can use whilst you're playing at home just to practice, and not just with, you know, just kind of keeping up with time, but there's so many other different effects that you can just really benefit from.
So if we tap that right now, we go to...
You can see slightly out of tune.
So if you were to tune that up right now, let me just get, I'm going to get a cloth so we can clean some of the fingerprints off of it. So you can see it better on screen up top here. All right.
That's my greasy fingers.
Yeah, we all got greasy fingers. We know where you've been, Dave.
That's where my secrets lie.
Yeah.
So you can see this section here where it's out. So if you get it into the perfect place, it will actually tell you it's
nice.
perfect.
So it's not unlike a traditional electric acoustic that has the LED lights going back and forth on it. And so this is what, a tap tempo kind of thing for your metronome or for your effects and stuff? Oh, nice.
This is just for you just to keep time. If you're trying to play something new, if you're trying to learn, you know, if you're not...
I'm going to bring this over here so we can actually hear that the guitar itself is making noise. It's not even plugged in. There's a tiny little kinetic speaker on the inside of here that is actually making that noise.
Yeah, so this is really useful if you are going into the studio, for example. If you're not used to working with a click track, it's a really easy way just to get used to, just to start getting used to working with a click. And you can just change it up. So if you want to get that quicker. There you go, up to 117. So you can literally go at any speed you want. So if you've worked out the tempo of which your click needs to be when you're going into the studio, this is just a really great way just to get practiced just before and just save some valuable time in the studio.
That's super useful.
Yeah.
And what's this screen here? What does that allow you to do?
So these are your templates. So this is linked to your effects. So this is just a very quick way just to get into your preset effects. So we'll go into the effects in a bit, but you can see that there's 2 on here, which is my template 4. So no effect on at the moment. If I click on my chorus effect.
And again, that's coming straight out of the guitar. It's not even plugged in.
Straight out.
That's super cool. And you can adjust those effects to your liking, increasing or decreasing them, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go into the actual effects features, so before you take things into your templates, you can actually go in and you can start to adjust things like the EQ. You can start to adjust things like your reverb. When it comes to chorus, you can adjust you literally how much you want it to sound like a choral effect. And everything else, there's things with really crazy names. So the things with really crazy names, you have to go in and work out exactly what kind of effects that they have on. So again, you can start to adjust, you can start to mess around with them just to how you like, and then you can save that, and then you can put that straight into your template.
Nice. So I see there's 3 slots there. So in that, like if you need to quickly change between templates while you're performing, you can just do that really easy. So even out of the box, this thing is just really easy to get along with.
Oh, insanely easy. And this is just your home face, so this is adjustable as well. But when you go into the effects and you can see how many there are and how you can actually adjust them, once you know, and if you're writing a particular song or if you're playing a particular cover, for example, that has a sound that you want to make your own, you can go in, you can preset that, and you can put that on your home screen. So again, instead of having to go through a load of different things, you can just set that on your template on your home screen and you can just go straight in.
Awesome. So why don't you strap it on, and I want to hear a bit of a sound test with and without effects, maybe. Let's try without effects, and we'll get some. That sounded very full and bright, like a typical acoustic guitar.
Exactly.
Great. So let's throw on an effect that you might be using.
So this is a chorus effect that I use quite a bit.
And again, this is only coming out of the guitar, out of the little speaker in the sound hole, plus the guitar sound itself. So it's kind of like a combined acoustic / hybrid thing. It's basically using the sound hole and the whole body as its speaker. It's kind of neat.
All right, so this is a chorus effect.
That's awesome. That sounded so cool, and it sounded so natural to the sound of the guitar. It's
Just
very
let
cool.
it ring out.
Yeah, and it rings out a lot. It resonates so much that even if you just leave your hand off of it, it's going to start creating a little like effect kind of thing happening.
It will start to feed back in a minute.
Yeah. Which is a testament to the resonance of the body.
Yep.
Why don't you throw on a reverb instead of a chorus if you can?
Of course.
Let me just video what you're doing right now, just so that people might have an idea.
When you press the plus button,
Yeah.
you can put it into your template. So say, for example, I want to put it into here. Confirm. If I go to my templates, down to template 5, this is now here.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's in the template, if you click on the ellipsis, you can click edit. And this is when you can start to really mess around with some of the features. So,
And I imagine like the thing up top is kind of the mix of it.
this bit here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is
Slider
how you can adjust. So you can just slide it through the touchscreen. So then you've got things like the decay, you've got mix, you've got low cut, so you can even change this. So for all those producers out there that are really technical, you can actually really start to mess around with things like this. And same with the high cut. And then if you move across like this, you can change things like the global volume. Oh, let's take that down.
That feedback, that wonderful feedback.
Oh yeah, so that's something you need to sort out.
Nice. Let's hear a bit of the reverb there. Can you crank the reverb all the way up? So we can get it like, or at least increase the decay.
So the decay is at 100 at the moment.
Nice.
Mix is at 100. Low cut, I put all the way up.
There we go. I think you had the low cut too high. So it was like filtering out a lot of the sound. You can actually really hear a lot of reverb in there now. Cool. Super cool. And that's just coming straight out of the guitar. So even if you're like on your couch or whatever, you get a bit of inspiration and you want to have some effects going and you get it moody, it's an amazing instrument to have at your side.
Yeah, absolutely. And these, even just standard standard effects that you'd normally have, just, you know, if you're just a normal open mic, you can go into things where if you want to get a little bit darker, so for example, if you want a little bit of, oh, let's just go back to all. If you want something a little bit more heavy,
oh, really? You're getting some distortion out of it. That's cool. It's like a distortive delay.
so again, if you put that into your template, so let's take it into template 4. This is one where you have super distortion, so you can bring that all the way up.
All right, now give us some sweet picking.
Hold on, let's see that again.
That's some space age stuff right there. Oh, okay. Settle down, Slash. All right. So I think this is a good moment to pop this guy in and actually hear how it sounds coming straight into the computer, recorded.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to bring up as well that there are effects that only actually work when you are plugged in.
Oh, no way. So you can actually like A/B it?
You can. So if you go down to the bottom here, so where it's line out only.
Let's switch it. Let's bring the folks along in this.
Absolutely. So, oh, let's bring that back up. So when you come down to the bottom, when you've got line out only, there are a number of different ones where you actually have to be plugged in to actually get the benefit of.
That's cool. So I can see there's like a modeling. These are like amp simulators in there?
Yeah. So you got G amp, M amp, T amp, 2077 amp.
And I'm sure if you look online, you'll figure out what they're referring to. They probably can't name them by name, but they're probably referring to typical acoustic or metal amps or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have no idea which ones they are, but like you said, if you Google them.
noted that as you're doing that, the speaker here has been disabled, probably for feedback reasons.
Yeah, so everything comes straight through the speaker.
Nice.
Or anything that you plugged into.
Nice. So you get the feel of the guitar as an acoustic guitar right where you're at, and it plugs into the system so that the system can project out to an audience or whatever else through a PA system, and if you have a monitor, you have that to listen to as well. So it allows you to dial it in as you need to. And that's pretty cool. Now, what effects do you use most? Just like some reverb, some chorus? I noticed that the other day he played at a local bar, and you had some chorus going.
Yeah, I use the chorus quite a bit. The chorus seems to be something that kind of works quite well, kind of aligns with a lot of stuff that I write. Yeah, it's something that I would normally ask for as an effect from the sound engineer. So now with something like this,
just walk in.
This is, or maybe
how have they approached you with that? When you walk in and you just plug in, they're like, what do you want on it? Do they know that? Do they know what they're seeing? Like your typical sound person at a live venue may or may not get it.
So the first question I get is, what is that? People don't really, I don't think people have really seen smart guitars before. So yeah. I think it's a new kind of concept that sound engineers specifically are kind of confused by. But by the time that it's done with, they seem relatively happy with me just being able to show up, and they're just like, amazing. You just set your presets, we can just sort the sound out, everything else from there, totally easy.
Nice.
So it's essentially making their job easier.
Yeah.
I had a comment from one local open mic host who literally just said, he said, you're the only person I didn't have to go up for. And that's, you know, making
Who is that?
Oh, it was Jody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's when I did the show at TO Lounge.
Nice.
Yeah, so he was just like, it was great because you just kind of just come in, you set yourself up, and then everything's good.
Toronto has a very robust open mic community, so
come down and check it out.
There's lots of gigs happen around town that you can tap into, and especially with something like that, it doesn't matter if they have like a giant Midas board or a small little Mackie mixer.
We've seen it all. We've seen it all.
Yeah, this you'll be able to take care of yourself with this. Now, I remember you recalling a little bit of a downside of sitting and playing with this thing. Do you remember what that was?
Is it when I forgot my strap?
No.
Oh.
So there's something where, and we're not, I mean, it's a minor criticism, but when you sit and you play with it, things start sliding off just because of the curvature.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So that's why I asked if it was when I forgot my strap, because I have...
Oh, yeah,
I have had to play with it without the strap when I've stupidly left it at home.
So if you look at the design of this, it's very curved, right? So if you have to sit and play with it, it's so smooth, it, you know, tends to kind of slide off the leg, right?
And then if you look at this part here, is I think I had to, or I think you helped me kind of create some sort of wedge to keep it in place.
A wedge.
I think it was actually my phone in my pocket.
Yeah.
That had to keep it from sliding off.
Basically, you sat down and had it like this, and it kept sliding off his leg. So I'm like, put something there, roll a coins or something. But you ended up putting your phone
so
in.
smooth. It's just, it will just come off. So
I think maybe if you get like a sticky rubber, like one-sided sticky rubber, and just put that on the bottom.
Yeah,
maybe like a clear, maybe I don't know, like silicone kind of thing. That might assist in like keeping it in place. But I mean, that's a minor criticism for what you get with this, right?
That's just if you're stupid like me and you forget the strap, which is not very often.
And the strap is actually pretty cool. Like it's a fully lock-in strap.
Yeah, so this is a lock-in.
It's nice and flush.
Yeah, so this is something that really is helpful for me, because the amount of times that I've had my guitar strap become very, very loose and just completely fall off mid-set. So this one just actually locks in place. So if you see this mechanism here, and you see that lock in and out,
oh, cool.
You can just put that straight on. That's locked in place. That is not coming off. And they have that on both sides.
Nice. If you have you traveled with it yet?
No, but I'm due to travel out west in January, and I'm going to be taking it with me.
Yeah, and do you think they'll be allowing it on the plane, or? will you have to check it?
I'm hoping it's going to be carry-on, but the case it's almost like a hybrid of a soft and a hard case.
Yeah, it's a neoprene case.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that they won't make me check it in, but if they do, it wouldn't be...
I think you do last luggage, like you
Yeah.
bring it to the gate and they pop it in
Yeah.
carefully.
I've traveled with other guitars and I've just kind of just played dumb and just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. They told me at the desk that I didn't have to check it in. And then normally they just let me through.
Now, most of these guitars are sold online through your Amazons or whatever else, but you actually had the chance to try one out before buying it. There was a dealer in Ottawa. And
Yeah.
you were able to sit down and fool around with it before purchasing. Did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, live up to and more. I was with my partner Severe, and we went into this shop, which was a man's house. We got very confused by the actual way that we rolled up to be like, we're definitely in the wrong place. Gave him a call. He was like, I can see you. And we're like, this is probably where we get murdered. But he just opened up. He was like, come on in. We went into his house, which is his shop, because it's an online shop. And we went in. He had probably the most incredible collection of guitars on his walls, including probably 15 of these in different colors.
Nice.
And different sizes as well, because this one does come in a smaller size.
Yeah. This is the full size, and it comes in, what, a 3/4 and a half?
Yeah. Yeah. So he had a few of them on his wall, and he said, just take your time, play what you want. I've always been quite particular about the guitars that I buy. Most of my guitars are probably under $300, and it's not because it's all to do with how it feels, how it plays. Like, so it's very particular to me, and I always want it to feel right. This guitar I picked up, and straight away I just said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the feel of it. I love the weight of it. I love how it's, apart from how it could potentially slip off, but when you're just standing with it here, and just how it feels, and the action and everything to do with it is just, for
and
me...
the action doesn't move, right?
No.
I noticed that there's not really a way to adjust a truss rod in there because it doesn't need it, right?
So this is another thing. So you have to go to an actual supplier. So the guy in Ottawa, he adjusted it for me. So I was playing it in his house, and I was playing it and playing it and playing it, and he said, how does it feel? And I said, well, something like the action is a little bit high, and he said, give it here. And he went away for 10, 15 minutes. He came back up. He said, try this.
Because I can't even see how.
He disappeared.
Maybe I'm trying to look in there, and maybe there's like some adjustable thing in there. I have no idea.
I think it's to do with this part here. I'm not totally sure, but he took it away, and he just came back, and he was just like...
Can't be underneath the logo, can it?
No, like, he...
If you guys know, leave it in the comments below
Yeah.
on how to adjust the truss rod on these things. But apparently, he adjusted it. Hasn't moved since.
No.
No? So
No,
it's been
it's
totally stable.
Totally stable, and I'll tell you what, like, I tune it every time I play it just out of habit. And the amount of times where I just go through and it's actually like, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, this is weird.
Hardly moves. But it does move a little bit.
It does every now and again, yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably has everything to do with the strings and whatever other materials are on here. The board material, is that composite or what is that?
That I'm not actually sure. But it
looks like it's carbon fiber itself.
Yeah, it's super smooth and just...
So I can't imagine them putting... I don't know. You'll probably see in the specs if you guys go search them up. But any other... So you've had it for what, 6 months now?
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months. Any other kind of things that have been disappointing or anything like that with it?
Not really, no, because I feel like
You can step closer.
Sorry.
I'm not going to kill you.
When I first got it, I was like, okay, this is cool. It's easy to use. There wasn't as many, I guess, like play-along effects that I thought there would be. So I kind of saw in the videos. I think I saw releases of new software before it actually came out. So when I first got it, I was like, perfect, great, plays well, everything I can do with it, it's all cool. And then they released the updates, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, just the play-along ability, just kind of like the play at home, just like kind of having fun with it. A lot of that stuff, they just knocked it out of the park. It was just really, really cool. And
this is the Lava 3, and they've come out with the Lava 4, including like a lower-cost all spruce body model. Does this one have a looper in it?
It does.
Nice. And that's killer. So you basically set a looping function on it. It counts you in, you loop, and it goes to the click, and then you can play along with the loop that you record. You gonna demonstrate that for us?
Oh, hold on.
Have you done that much?
Oh, I might need to connect to your Wi-Fi. Sorry.
That's the thing nobody wants to hear. You got to connect it to Wi-Fi.
I have to connect my guitar to your Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we don't need to do that right now then. Anyway, you guys can see how the loop function works in other videos. I wanted to make this video for you guys because it shows you someone who uses this in real life, who's had it for 6 months, who's performed out with it. I was with him, playing with him on, was it Sunday?
Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night, a couple nights ago, in a bar where it was just connected into like the worst sound system ever, and it sounded great on its own. So he plays it out everywhere he goes. He's had it between summer and now we're in winter now, and there's a real world testament to what's going on with this thing. And I found it fascinating first time it came out. I've seen all the videos on it. And it's nice to have one finally in the studio. Now, accessory-wise, I see you have some weird spaceship-looking thing over there. What is that thing?
So that is actually the charging pod. So let me bring that up for you.
Yeah.
So I know what you're probably thinking. This is not an Apple product.
So this is like the toilet?
This is,
So this is the toilet for the guitar?
Yeah. So this is the charging pod. So it doubles as a guitar stand.
That is so cool.
It is really cool. So
if I unplug this.
So if you plug this, take this out, you'll see there is a USB.
Oh yeah, there's two little like nubby things here. You can
there's also a USB-C charging point there. So if you really wanted just to use the cable, you don't need this. You can literally just charge it through. If I had a power bank with me right now, which could connect to a USB-C cable, I could charge it right now.
Well, speaking of power, how long does the power last? I remember you came to a gig and it was like at 50% power, and you were worried. And why? Because it's never been at that low power before?
No, I don't think so. But I think during that gig, it went down to like 43%.
Yeah, so you used 7% in how long?
Like 30 minutes?
30 minutes?
Probably even longer. No, it's probably more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just slots straight in. There you go. You hear that little click.
Look at that. Straight out of 2001. What
and then when it's
cool looking thing.
When it's plugged in, you can actually see what the battery is here. So you can just click a button.
Here, let me,
Sweet.
all right. So he's gonna pop that power in, and we're gonna see this thing light up. Cool. So, typical charging thing. This thing looks, you know, I was kind of laughing at it earlier, but it looks really sexy.
It's really cool, and I just have it in my front room, and every time that someone comes in, they're like,
what is that thing?
Literally the first question is, did Apple release a guitar? And it's like, nope.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, it's super cool, and I've always just, I never really have guitar stands. I don't know why it's a thing that I've just not really had in my house before, and then I bought one for like $15, $20 with my old guitar, and then I got this as an additional, at an additional cost, but I got it shipped with it. And then it just looks so nice.
It does. So how much did this thing cost in addition?
This was about $200.
$200.
Yeah.
It must have been designed by Apple, right?
Yeah.
$200 for
But at least you can actually charge it without this thing, which is nice.
It's a beautiful stand, and yeah, it's a conversation piece, I guess.
Yeah. So before I had this, I had it on my old $20 stand, and I had literally a cable going from the guitar into my into the wall. And people would ask, what the hell are you doing? And I'd be like, I'm charging my guitar. And people just thought I was weird.
And you can see a little charging cable that plugs into the back here. Plugs into the bottom, as you would say.
Into the bottom.
The bottom. How proper. That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So what other accessories have you considered? I've seen... The Lava 4 has this like looper pedal that now it comes with, and all this, or not that it comes with, but that's accessible to it. I'm not sure if that's the case for the 3.
No, you don't. Honestly, you don't need it. So I think the Lava 4, and I probably will get fact checked here. I think it's more for professionals that are actually performing. So there's additional things to the Lava 4 which you need to buy, which are actually included in here.
Ah, okay, cool.
So in terms of preset effects and the looper and everything like that, the Lava 4 Pro is essentially just like if you want to do booster or things, effects like that.
So it externalizes all those things rather than
exactly. So it helps with if you're just naturally performing instead of just this is more designed for the play at home type thing.
Yeah.
It just so happens that everything that's included here just really helps me with my live performance, which is just ideal.
Yeah, very cool. Well, Dave, thank you for bringing this in today. And you know, it's been a long time coming. As soon as I saw this thing in your hands, I was like, you got to bring it into the studio to do a review. Very, very cool. Dave, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Dave_Daniel Music. You can also search me on Spotify, Dave Daniel Music again. As Rob mentioned, I have plenty of music on streaming sites. So if you just go through my Instagram, you'll be able to find all the details. Shoot me a message if you need anything, if you want any questions asked about this guitar, let me know.
And you can leave them in the comments below. As well, in the description, I'm going to put a link to his music, put links to all the gear that we're using here today. And of course, subscribe because that helps us going forward. Yes, and Dave, thanks a bunch. Appreciate
Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thanks,
See you guys
everyone.
till the next one.
Let's do it. Ba, 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 ba.
Ba-ba-ba-bow.